AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Faith Overseas University.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
What's good, everybody out there in the world? You already know what it is. You got your 3 favorite guys from your favorite podcast, the 3-Man Weave podcast, and we are back with a brand new episode 88. Whew, we getting deep in this thing. It's your boy Buchanan, your favorite guy. I'm here, and with me as always, I got.
You already know who it is. It's your boy Hill. Hill go Hill regardless, baby. Let's get it.
And you know what it is. You got AJ, El Presidente. What's happening?
I thought my guy was
frozen?
He froze.
I think I'm frozen.
Yeah, there's a little delay in the sound.
Every week, man. I tell you, every week, as soon as we start.
I'm telling you, bro. It's where I record. Go ahead.
Is it episode 88?
Is it?
I believe so. Episode 88.
That's why I just hopped out there. I was hoping it was.
I believe so. Episode 88. Y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I want to thank everybody on the YouTube viewership. I want to thank everybody on Facebook that's watching us right now. I want to thank everybody that's going to listen to us on the audio or the video playback. I want to thank all the supporters. And we lit. And Eric definitely telling you to get better internet connection. AJ, step your internet up.
I'm on the other side of the house right now. And so because Chase downstairs and you know Chase be wilding. So in order to cut the background noise out, I'd be upstairs. So, I can quiet pod, but I get a lag pod. So I think I'm gonna have to just start moving downstairs, and we're gonna have to have some baby screaming in the back. But ain't nothing wrong with him. He just loud. So next episode, I promise I'm gonna have some good connection just for you, Eric.
We
got a really special guest today.
Yeah.
So never mind. Hey man, stop hitting us, asking us who we gonna have on the show this week. We spoiled y'all for giving y'all back-to-back guests. It's your 3 favorite guys. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay to like us. It's okay to like us.
It's okay. Yeah. It was it was funny. I thought it was gonna be an issue with the back-to-back guests, but I'm definitely not gonna complain whatsoever. Special shout out to Hugh Jackson. Special shout out to Arthur Moats. I want to thank them guys again for joining us, and it's gonna be some more. So just stay tuned. But right now you're getting us. We're gonna give y'all the best we got.
And y'all, when y'all show up, y'all are a part of the show. We can't do this without y'all. So we are the podcast of the people. This is what we do. So when you get us, it's more of y'all. When we bring in a guest, it's less y'all. So
talk to him, Caddy.
Gotta have balance.
Talk to him, Caddy. Man,
I do want to thank everybody who y'all were very interactive. Y'all gave us some really great questions during those interviews, man. So definitely we want to thank y'all for that as well. That was amazing.
Like I say, teamwork make the dream work. We can't do this without y'all.
Shit, we can.
We can't do this without y'all. I don't know what AJ talking about. He about to end up like Nate Robb. That's what he about to end up like.
Yeah.
Night, Nate. Night.
Wow.
Nate let us down, man.
He let us down big time. But he learned a valuable lesson. One.
It's because they white, you can't beat them, bro.
That's one.
I've said that a lot of times. But number 2,
keep playing with the white boys if you want to.
A lot of professional athletes always feel like because I went pro in something else, I'll just naturally be good in another sport because I'm a God-given athlete. Newsflash. Here's the thing: you can fight a mediocre boxer who's been boxing his whole life or for the last 10 to 15 years, and you can have all the natural ability you want and come in there and get knocked out by a boxer who always lose to other boxers just because this is his actual craft. He lives and breathes this. And bro, when he seen how Nate opened up and throw his punches and leave his hand, he said, "Oh, this is a boxer's dream." And so it was like it was nothing for him to land his shots. And Nate learned the one lesson that y'all didn't mention that I learned: getting hit with boxing gloves without headgear is unlike any other experience on this planet.
I know how I feel. Trust me.
You know what's crazy? I thought you was gonna say something different. I'm glad you did. Because I believe Nick Robinson can actually fight. Like
possibly,
he just can't box.
That's exactly, and he learned that lesson. Because I believe if I had to go in, get in a squabble with Nate can hold his own. We can get.
Oh, absolutely.
And I would be proud that I got Nate on my side.
And you know why I know Nate can fight? Because how tall is Nate? 5'10", 5'9"?
Yeah. All his life he had to fight.
He's 5'9", played college football and college basketball, and went pro. And 5'9" Nate, he's had to prove all my life I had to fight. So I know he can fight on the street, but it's different. It's different when you are in a ring.
Science.
That shit that he did to Jake Paul, that was a fighter going against a boxer. And guess what? You got your ass knocked out because a boxer gonna know, okay, I'm gonna find my range and I'm putting everything on your chin. And we all know the chin is the ejectocito button. It's gonna take your legs right away. So he got his ass whooped. And don't ever do that shit again.
And pugilist. It's a difference between a pugilist and a fighter. It's two different things.
Spell that.
you spell it.
I can't.
So we're not gonna stay on this long, but let's talk about, did the weight difference actually play a part? Because Chris Brooks said weight difference, man. Jake Paul wrestled. He's saying so. Jake Paul is the
weight difference didn't mean nothing because he just hit him clean. It wasn't like
he wasn't leaning on him. It wasn't holding. He just it didn't
go to the championship rounds, and he just been laying on him all fight to tire him out. He hit that motherfucker with 8 punches.
Okay, and I need this Facebook user to give StreamYard permission so we can see your name. He didn't resort to training. He learned. He didn't protect himself at all.
Let me jump in here real quick.
Okay.
You can't say he didn't resort to the training he learned because he wasn't. This ain't his craft. Not something that he's doing his entire life. The real reason why we look, every single year we heard, Tim Tebow fixed his throwing motion. He came back in the game. That motherfucker couldn't hit the broad side of a motherfucking barn. You know why? Yeah. Because that's something that he's been doing his entire life. Nate been street fighting his entire life. He ain't been boxing his entire life.
But hold on now. Once again, we gave Nate credit for being actually saying he can fight. Mm-hmm. Ain't nowhere in the world that you leaving your facial exposure in any fight. Bro, like your boxing stance and
the thing is, his guard might not be like that. But his guard was not like that. Number one, but it's also like you've been sparring with regular. Now you're getting in here with a real boxer who's protect yourself at all times. They done said it. It's too late, and now you realize the speed of this man's hand and the speed of the way that you move and put your guard up is not adequate enough. So like Sean Hurt said, it's a sweet science to it. So it's like he could have tried everything his trainer said. He wasn't an expert at that stuff, to AJ's point, because he hasn't done it long enough.
Yeah, I get
here. When you watch a real boxing match and somebody get dropped and they get back on feet with time left in the round, what do? They clinch.
Hold. Yeah, they got to survive.
What did Nate do? Put his head down and try and throw more punches.
Whoa. Because that's what he knows. He knows that's all he knows. He knows
I guarantee you that ain't what they trained though.
What I'm talking about was his stance. His stance was all awful from the jump. Like,
yeah, it was
Because,
wide.
and I know for a fact, I'm giving his trainer some credit. I know his trainer's like, hey, come on, Nate.
But like AJ's saying, if you've fought a lot of fights in your life, I'm gonna just assume as a black man, Nate has had at least 20 fights in his lifetime. 10 to 20 real fights. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And now he has his first official boxing fight. And you think when the blows get defined, he's gonna resort to his real fighting stance because he ain't boxed enough for that to have that muscle memory yet.
Bro, you just
I can't buy the reach play the difference because it's like he just like whooping him on the outside. Nate was charging him and everything.
And it wasn't like he beat him a long time. It's
exactly and the final knock, like he hit him with that overhand right. Nate was charging in. It wasn't like he, was like taking some straight rights and stuff like that. He was just beating them up from distance. No, they was close. Like he hit him with a hook. I mean, the uppercut, I believe. It was some short range punches. So I don't think the reach played a difference. I just think that
it was the expertise.
That shit definitely played a difference, bro. That was the reason why Nate was rushing him because he didn't have the reach.
Okay, when you put it like that I can see that point.
You're not short, bro. Like you're not short, and obviously, I'm just being honest right now. You're not short. So most of the people that you fought, either they haven't been that much taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
Their reach haven't been that much crazy. Like you're not fighting Shaq. Like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You fighting people at your height. Like I'm short. I've had to rush a few people, or if not, I'm getting snuffed. Like,
but here's my thing: rushing in boxing don't work, especially if your hands are at your belly button.
That's two different things, though. You're saying though, that's two different things. He had to rush him because he didn't have the reach. You feel me? Jake Paul had.
Put that comment up there. Tell Sean, and look, I'm going all the way back to childhood for that one, man.
Bro,
you got about 20 of them, bro. You get at least 10. You get at least 10 of them by the time you 10.
That is a lot of fights, bro.
Bro, it is. But do
you have about 2 fights a year in elementary school?
Let me ask you this, Cannon. Do you add the amount of each person that jumped you? Because if I count every person that jumped me, I can be about 20.
I've only been jumped once, and it was only 2 people, and they lost. So it's like I don't know. But what I'm saying is, like in elementary school, I wasn't trying to get into a lot of fights, but it's like I got suspended at least twice a year for fights. And then you fought your brothers, and I don't count the cousins. Your cousins. So I'm saying like 20. 14. That's not a bad number. Is 20 a bad number?
That's
if you think about that's a high number,
that's
bro.
That's a high number.
But think about fights. You've been in at least 10, Hill.
I probably
damn near fought me 3 or 4 times.
I'm different.
So you ain't got what, bro? You're just an average person.
No. Because that don't make it right. Like me.
I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying Nate probably done. All right, well, I'll say let's give him 10. He done had 10 fights.
Me having 20 is understandable out of the 3 of us right here. You having 20 is wild.
That's crazy.
No, because before, like, I'm reserved now. That's the thing. Like, I used to be an argumentative person. And as a kid, and that's the reason why I'm reserved now is because I got to the point where I don't want to fight no more.
Relax.
He got slap box jumped. Hey Eric, how tall are you?
And he said definitely rush me though. That's the part that took me.
Is Eric taller than you?
Yes.
Oh,
Eric may be taller than you, I believe.
God damn.
Yeah, Eric may be taller than you, but we don't win.
I'm gonna tell you what you're not about to do, Eric. You come in here like Jake Paul, like, hey, we still the host of this, just to let you know. Keep those comments.
I missed what. Oh yeah. Speaking of Jake Paul, Eric did say Jake Paul talking crazy too now.
So look, here's my thing. He is talking tough, but I know y'all at least got in 1 fight a year at school, so that's 12 coming out of high school.
Nah, I couldn't because I know, bro. I'm telling you, if I got into a fight, that mean I'm getting into another fight when I get home and I can't throw
that
no
still
punches?
used to happen.
No.
Because of you.
If I get into a fight, I gotta come home and my mama gonna whoop my ass, and I can't fight her.
I got whipped at home. But no, ask Alvin. Alvin normally being this. Ask Alvin. I got into a lot of fights, bro. I was the dude that, bro, I fought at the bus stop. I
did too. I
fought my next door neighbor, my best friend.
I done fought all them, but
yeah.
it still ain't 20. It might be. We might be like at 10.
I'm 20 plus for sure.
Shit.
I just fought my brothers, bro. Like we fought a lot. We fought
Talk to him, Floyd.
Me and Eder fought like every weekend, but outside of that, I got into maybe I got into a couple fights in high school, and then I got jumped twice in LA, and then I got jumped at JMU. And that JMU.
That's 5, right? You look, that's 5 in your adulthood.
Talk to him.
You start acting like you ain't now. Now. Let's think about 3rd grade. You don't even recollect that.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't count. Like if I wasn't a teenager, I don't. count.
Okay, all right. So if you start from a teenager, then I take away the 20. I said when Sean first said that, I said from your whole life, and that's why I said so. That's why I said Nate reverted back to that. You feel me? He reverted back to that because he's been doing that his whole life. As a man, no, Nate should not be in 20 fights. But I'm just saying, since he's been, my win-loss, I'm about 12 to 10. I ain't gonna lie. I took some L's, especially my cousin Ty. And I will say, one fight, I fought a white boy, my homeboy Bobby Dodd. He be up here in the group. So I fought him 3 times growing up. And I won once, he won once, and we draw once. But
okay, Tyson Fury and Wilder.
That was the most like that. He was my hardest match because nobody will ever jump into those fights and break it up. So me and him would fight for like 5 or 6 minutes. So like we was really winded. And the one time that he did win against me, he threw sand in my eye. So I really don't count that one. But he got me, and it was on the sandbox, and that was fair because I would have done it to him. I ain't gonna lie if I had the chance.
But say y'all keep playing.
And ain't no way I'm fighting for 5 minutes. I can't even have sex for 5 minutes.
Bro, this was back in the day, and I was gassed. And another dude, I took an L on that same playground. This big dude named Chubb, he stole my football. It was a Maryland Terps football. My mom said, if you don't bring that football home, that's your. So I said, look, Chubb, you gotta get my football, man. And I tried to take it. He hit me, and then I tackled him down, and I had him on the ground, and he reached up and did one of these joints, which is like the wackest punch of all time, just a bing, just like that. But it hit me. It hit me dead in my eye, bro, and I started seeing 2 of him. And so he ended up getting the best of me. And then look, and so Cannon ended up fighting him later for my football, and Cannon broke his nose. Cannon was undefeated. Like I'm trying to tell you, like he had a one-hitter quitter, like from Fight Club. And every time it was dead accurate. He broke 3 noses, bro, all on the first try.
Can we get to the real fight this weekend?
I mean, our fights was better than that, but we can get to that one.
We get to the
Oh, you talking about Spence? I thought you were talking about Tyson.
For sure. Tyson, yeah. No, hell no. We're just going straight to Spence. We got all right. Let's get to it. We got a real fight this weekend. Championship on the line. Errol Spence Jr. returns. Danny Garcia. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Man, I'm really interested to see how Spence come back from this accident. Because bro, like we've all seen this accident, my man's he got to be thankful just to be alive. Mm-hmm. So to hop back in the ring like this, I know he's taking time, but real interested to see how he looks because not only ring rust is a thing, but sometimes I think it gets overblown. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's gonna play a part, but just knowing how Danny Garcia is, I think that Spence is going to get the fight. Like he's gonna win it, but I don't think he's gonna look dominant. And I think those early rounds are gonna.
He could. It depends on which Danny shows up. I'll get to that.
No, I get that. I just don't think that me seeing what I've seen from Danny throughout his career,
Yeah.
when it comes to when it
Yep.
comes to the money, like
Mhm.
when the
He's been a
lights are on,
letdown. He's been a letdown.
when it's game time, when this is your shot to
Mhm.
prove that you belong in the conversation,
Yep.
I've always seen him come up short.
He did
So
not show up against Sean Porter at all.
exactly,
Sean Porter dominated that man.
and then Spence is not your normal welterweight.
Mm-mm.
Spence could go up
Yeah,
a class or
absolutely.
two and still be competitive with his size that he has.
Mhm.
So I think that's something that he'll be able to lean on, along with that power that he has. And I think if he goes to the body, he can. I don't see early to mid round knockout. I don't even know if I see him knocking Danny like out. I just think he's going to drag him into the late rounds and really start to get in his groove in the later
His
rounds.
clean shots.
And then start taking some of those rounds in the end. So I think it's actually going to be a really competitive fight, just because of Danny being Danny. He's not just going to go out easy, but I think Spence towards the end is going to just pull it away.
Can I where we got Sean Hurt said Danny Garcia Spence should have took a tune-up fight, and then we got another Facebook user. I agree with Sean.
Sean could be right though. Now,
and I'm gonna say why. Let me go. I'm sorry, Kenny. I believe that he shouldn't have took a tune-up fight. That's why I'm commending him for this, because they're both going to have ring rust. COVID actually saved Errol Spence, in my opinion, because this fight would have been a lot sooner.
Yeah, that's
than it was supposed to be. And he said he's been ready. I seen his interview on All the Smoke. He's been ready. He's been taking blows to the face, so he feels that he can handle a punch. And everything is cool till you actually do get punched in the face. But I do feel that the COVID pandemic pushing it back actually benefits Errol Spence's recovery in this sense. We haven't seen a great Danny Garcia in a while, so he's going to have to deal with ring rust as well. So this a tune-up fight, it might have been beneficial, but the fact that I respect Errol Spence so much is because this is how you really truly do a get back season. You take a quality fighter that you probably would have dominated without the accident. If they didn't fought right after the accident, we would have had him beating the brakes off Danny Garcia. Let's be honest. So now you take a Danny Garcia, a credible fighter, right after your accident, and you actually fight. This is the true definition of get back season. We ain't ducking no smoke. Man down, Errol Spence. Let's go.
No, I wholeheartedly feel you on that.
I definitely feel you.
Yeah, and by tune-up, I get what you're saying. I think as far as a tune-up, I don't think Spence should have hopped in with some of the other upper echelon 147 right off the accident. So technically, him being the king of the hill at 147, anybody that's not in tier A can kind of be considered a tune-up. Dan is kind of like that B-level welterweight. So, I mean, it's a challenge, but it's one of those fighters where.
But he just was A-level prior to the Sean Porter loss, and so my thing about Spence, I mean, he was up for everything. Like he could have took whatever fight he wanted prior to that loss. Like he didn't have a lot of loss, and that was just like it was the Keith Thurman. That was a questionable loss, and a lot of people was like, okay, you lost to Thurman, but we felt like Danny was in that fight. But everybody knew that Sean Porter won the Danny Garcia fight. It was no controversy. He clearly won it. And so now you put him like, okay, I don't really want Spence to fight Danny Garcia. Like Hill said, if it was in a perfect world and there was no accident. Now, what I will say, when I was in 11th grade, I was in a car accident. It flipped 6 times. I broke my pelvis. I know about being on that pavement. And what I will say as a man, as I was healing up and I'm getting off crutches and stuff, I'm telling everybody I'm good. But I will tell you for real, it was about 5 or 6 years until I couldn't feel certain parts of my face for a long time just because of the impact. Like when I slammed into the window, and like my lip and all that just used to be numb for like mad years after that accident. And You feel me? So it's like it really changed me. It changed a lot about me now. I'm not no world star athlete, but what I will say is I kind of agree with Sean when I felt like, I hate tune-up fights here, but I don't feel like this is a typical injury. This is not like, oh, Keith Thurman, I had elbow surgery. I was supposed to have the surgery. I did my training. I should be back now. This is injuries all over his body. Some of those injuries weren't accounted for, and some of them he didn't even tell a doctor about. Same thing with me. There was no point for me to tell a doctor, like, if I touch right here, I can't feel nothing. Like, what they gonna do about that? It's nothing. I was just glad that my face healed.
And so let me just say this. I understand why y'all don't like tune-up fights, but one thing, like I always told y'all before, it's not like another sport where you kind of have other people to kind of spell you and take a break from.
No, I get it.
This is boxing.
If
you're not 100% right, it's possible that you are going to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't mind the tune-up fight to get in there and say, like, okay, is my body right? Can I still produce the same hand speed or the same power, or will my legs get tired? Will I still be able to take a punch? Because I haven't taken a punch and I don't know how long
since I landed on concrete.
Exactly. Not even just concrete. Since like I got off the table, like you brought up Keith Thurman. Say if Keith Thurman's in a fight and he just had elbow surgery.
Mm-hmm.
What's one thing that people do to get you to lower your hands? If they can't get to you, they gonna hit your elbows.
Yeah,
they gonna hit your arms. Like, can I withstand that and still protect myself? So I don't mind a tune-up fight. It's a difference between a tune-up fight and ducking.
Bad, man. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand. I don't dislike tune-up fights because I understand tune-up fight. I just like the fact how you go about some of your tune-up fights.
Yeah, and I like how you went about this.
Because I understand that people come off injuries and they on a minute restriction or they on a snap count. So I understand that aspect. But don't come and be like, I'm not gonna go in a whole long tangent about Keith Thurman because what's the point? It's been proven. But it's like the way that he went about it was just wrong. And I didn't agree with the way he went about that.
Yeah, because the reason why I'm 100% with you. The reason why I'm with you is because he was still cocky, and I understand because he still had a belt. He still had a belt. But my whole thing is, don't be cocky and then say I'm waiting. Like,
super avoidance, right?
Yeah.
And you don't like Devin Haney, but Devin Haney had shoulder surgery and came out and fought Gamboa, which is one of his toughest opponents yet.
I'm messing
with you, bro.
Okay.
That's to my point. Like, it's about how you go about it, right here. So it's like Devin Haney had the surgery. He could have said duck and play around and take these contenders because he got a belt. But he said, nah, I want a real contender. Somebody that all of these other people have fought and know is a tough win.
Like Jared Hurd. He had an injury. He was on get back season, and he made sure
he should have took a tune-up.
But he was, and that
he should have fought a mechanic.
But what I'm saying, he made it known what he was doing. He like, I'm on get back season. Yeah. I'm on get back season. I'm trying to work my way up.
And he ain't throwing no punches. He ain't throwing no punches.
It didn't work out in his favor. I get that, but I understood what he was doing. He wasn't just like Keith Thurman at every press conference talking about, I can knock you out, I can beat you, I can beat you.
And then wouldn't take no fights.
Yeah, when you gonna fight? Hell no.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Keith Thurman was on a media tour.
That's what my issue with the get back season with, and that's why. But like I stated,
I'm with you on that. Yeah, my whole thing is just saying where we just like, because I was just like, yo, I understand him not fighting nobody right now.
So we gonna wait to the result to see what they go from now, or
what you mean?
Are we gonna wait to the result of the fight, of Spence and Garcia fight to see where they go from here, or are we gonna go now with it?
So I got Spence.
Now. Yeah.
I got Spence, and I think Danny Garcia will fight AB after he loses.
Now I got Spence also, but like I told Hill, I'm not writing Danny off because I used to be a Danny fan, but I had what the Danny that I was a fan of. I haven't seen him.
I remember.
I haven't seen that. Yeah. I haven't seen that dude. So it's like what you did against Thurman, what you did against Sean Porter. It looked like a guy just trying to get paid. Now I've been watching some of the videos, and it looked like he's trained hard for this fight. But here's the thing with video: they can make me look like I trained hard. So it's like, come on now. So it's like I'm not gonna believe it till I actually get in there. What I will say is that Spence Porter fight, I saw two boxers in there really putting it on the line. And I hope that this Danny Garcia fight could live up to that, because Danny had promise. And one thing that Danny does have that you can't take away is power. And with Spence coming off of, that brutal accident, we don't know how it is going to be for him to get hit with power. We saw Sean Porter hurt Spence a few times, probably more than we ever seen it. So he's human, it's possible. So, I just hope Danny's focused. I hope we get a good fight, because I feel like I'm going to have to pay for this fight, and I don't want to pay for trash. I really don't. Why is that funny?
No, this is funny.
Oh,
that's funny.
Because of exactly what you said. He like, the videos made.
Everything. It looked good.
Yeah, that's what made it funny. I wasn't
that's a fact, because the videos they put montage, they edit it, got you sweating, pumping iron, making Danny look like, and really that was 5 minutes. You feel me?
They put together a highlight tape and made Jogging Bender look like a top 5 draft pick. They can make anybody look good.
You know what I'm saying? They can make them highlights a lot to you. Them highlights a lot to you, boy. I tell you. I got Spence as well. It's gonna go. You gonna get the decision. Like you said, ring rust is real, but both of them are going to have to deal with it. Like you said, Danny Garcia does have power that you can't take that away from him. He can hit you.
True.
And like you said, you ain't been hit in the face for real, Spence.
Mm-hmm.
So so you might have been ready. You might have thought you was ready. Sparring is different.
Yeah, it is.
Sparring is different. You're going to get hit. And I want you to see if you can take that punch. I believe that you can take the punch. And as well, I agree with you, AJ. Danny's definitely going to take AB. That's going to be a good payday for him. Good tune-up fight for somebody else. But I think Spence going to move up after this.
I'm done with. I don't want nobody fighting AB, man. I'm done with AB.
But like that Garcia fight, that Garcia AB fight, quiet as it's kept, is gonna make money because they both are gonna promote. Especially
they can promote. They can promote.
Pops and then AB in a fight, just the trash talking alone is going to be able to sell that fight, and we're gonna watch that and be like, But the build up to it is gonna be so good. You're gonna be like, okay, because they both gonna sell. They both can sell. Both camps can sell a fight.
I believe that. I mean, me personally, I want to see Spence versus Terrence Crawford. I want to see that. I
don't think that will ever happen. I've given up on it, bro. And now
that's why I say now,
Bud is on the outs with Bob Arum. Yeah. And so if Bud can follow through with that and leave, Bob Arum Promotions, we might see that fight. But it's just not in Bob Arum's best interest for him to. I've been listening to AJ, and as much as I don't like it, it's a blueprint. And Bob Arum's not new. Like, he's been around since Don King. This is his MO. So it's like, why would I think that he's going to put his top fighter against another promoter's top fighter? That's not his MO. So it's like, if he does put him against another promoter, it's going to be his lesser fighters. Sorry, not going to take don't want my prize dog against your prize dog, because if my prize dog lose, then how am I going to eat? And that's Arum's thinking.
I think what will be the next super fight. What do you mean, Sean? What do you mean Crawford ain't
he's at 147.
He's already at 147.
Yeah.
147.
He's a welterweight king.
Because he wants Spence. But the reason why I don't think he's gonna get Spence, because as much as he wants him, once again, like I said, Spence is not he's not at 147. like this is gonna move up.
I still will have Bud. I still got Bud and man, but I just if it was them two, I'm taking Bud. And I know Spence is a bigger guy, but I just feel like if Spence make weight, Bud can win.
But here's my thing. I've seen, and I know they're not the same. I know they're different fighters, and Bud is more aggressive. But at 147, I think
When
it's going to
Bud
be
ready to end it, he gonna end it.
But no, I think it'll be similar to that Mikey Garcia Spence fight, where it's just he's too much.
I don't think so. Bud ain't that small.
Bro, he came up for Mikey Garcia division.
Nah, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, Bud been fighting at 147 a lot, so it's like Mikey. That was his first fight. Like, you should have never jumped up and fight the best in the class. That was just dumb. But to Mikey's point, Mikey was on a long layoff and he needed to pay that. He hadn't gotten paid in 2 years when he took that fight. So I would have took it too if I could have promoted it. But I think he knew deep down that he couldn't beat Spence. It's just too big for him. But Bud has been at this weight longer. So it's like, I feel like he could have a legitimate shot.
From some of these talks, it seems like obviously Spence ready. He's trying to work his way up to get Canelo. And
don't do that. Don't do that.
And that's what I was about to say when Eric put this in here. Tank and Ryan Garcia is not a super fight.
That's not.
Spence and Canelo is going to be a super fight.
I don't want to even see that though, because you're not that big, Spence. Like, you are a big guy, but that 160 is different, bro. Because Canelo walking around at 175, 180.
He will find. I think he will find out before
Canelo hit like a heavyweight, bro. Let's
he will
be
find
real.
out beforehand, and he gonna have to take some fights before they get there.
You better.
But that's a big. I don't. Me personally, I don't know who. I don't know who.
That's two weight classes.
But I'm gonna tell you like this. The difference from like a feather up to welter and stuff like that versus welter up to just middleweight is completely different, because once you get up to 154,
they killing you, bro.
It's that like the power exponentially grows.
The Charlos
and I'm not like the Charlos. I'm still iffy on them, but Spence, because they all from Texas, he wouldn't fight the Charlos.
And that's why he don't want to go to 154. But Canelo is not a smart career player.
Because for Canelo, it's not smart for Canelo to come down back to 154.
Oh no,
if anything, Canelo is going to stay
at 160.
I'm about to say Canelo's going to stay at 160 because
Canelo,
because Canelo he can go above 160, but Canelo ain't going back down to 154. So y'all can
Canelo is a big dude.
Y'all could try and do a catch weight somewhere in the middle. But Canelo's not fighting that one.
I don't like catch weight fights.
I hate that. I got a question. So I got a question for y'all. So who's the bigger fight for Canelo?
I mean,
out of who?
Period.
Spence would be a super fight, like AJ said.
So
that is probably the biggest fight in boxing if they could do it now. Not now because he's fighting Garcia next year, or a year and a half, because they're in their prime. But Canelo's been in his prime for a few years now, so it's like, how long is his prime going to last?
And that's what I'm asking.
It has to happen in the next year and a half. But that's definitely a super fight, like AJ said.
AJ, because I got an explanation for why I asked that.
So I mean, we all know, like, he's went up and he beat the shit out of Sergey Kovalev. It was an older Sergey Kovalev.
Beat it. Don't matter.
But I think, this Callum Smith fight is going to be pretty good. But
yeah,
there's people out there, like, you got Boo Boo Andre, you got, I think the Charlo brothers will get him money, but it's not going to be it's not going to be tough for him.
Nah, I don't want to see Charlo and Canelo.
Canelo, he too polished for all three of them.
He's polished. Did you, man, his last fight, the way his defense, he was looking like Floyd, the way he was dodging punches and not letting nothing hit him.
So what y'all just told me, nobody's going to be a bigger draw for either one of these individuals than each other.
But that's what I said. That's why I said this is going to be the next super fight, not Tank and Ryan Garcia.
But
to Hill's point, to Cannon's point, Cannon is like, I don't really want to see it because of how polished and the power that Canelo brings.
Now, there was a canceled Canelo fight, and it escapes me right now. But that was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
And I can't remember who it was, but it was before he broke with the zone. And they were supposed to have it. They had just agreed to a fight, and it was supposed to be a good fight. Now we know this next fight is pretty much Canelo all the way.
But my thing about this fight, right, is Spence has a connection with Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
AT&T Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're in the pandemic right now, but once the pandemic is over, and he's already been putting fans in the stadium, he just had 30,000 in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so and it's a vaccine coming out.
They're going to pack this building. He's going to try to pack a building out,
with vaccinated people.
But who you going to pack that up? If they fight Canelo and Spence, they're going to pack that building out. That's money for everybody.
And the pay-per-view is probably going to be the most viewed fight.
I'm asking. Okay, boom. Spence just had this accident. What is his end game? Is he ready for his paydays and ready to get out? Because he changed his method.
He said that he wants to unify. He wants to be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world before he conquers other divisions. That's what he said.
He's not ducking no smoke, but he's also been taking big. He want big money fights.
Yeah.
So he was going to fight Pacquiao before the accident.
So. Yeah. What I'll say, the biggest fight in boxing right now would be Canelo Alvarez versus Errol Spence. But for Canelo, the best possible fights was the fight that Canelo possibly had with Caleb Plant at middle.
Why didn't you just say that when I asked it, bro?
It would be Caleb Plant at super middleweight,
thank you. That's a fight, bro.
Or at light heavyweight at the division that he beat Sergey Kovalev with Artur Beterbiev.
That's a good fight.
Those two fights won't sell as much, but they'd be better fights for Canelo.
But Caleb Plant is definitely on his way and might have the best chance to maybe defeat Canelo,
right?
Compared to anybody else.
But the thing is, it's not going to be Canelo most.
You broke up.
He said it won't go get Canelo the most money. I don't think Canelo has.
Oh yeah, which is why it would have worked under the zone agreement, but now it's messed up. So now he's on a fight per fight basis. So now he got to get all the money he can. Now it doesn't make sense. So,
well, like I said, Eric, if you're still in here, you said you had a question for us. So definitely, this is your time to shine. While we wait for your question, we had it's not a blockbuster trade, but we had a big.
It's blockbuster. It's blockbuster. Come on, don't.
It was like Hollywood. It was like Hollywood videos. Y'all had Hollywood videos?
Yeah, we had Hollywood. That didn't last long.
Yeah, it was about 2 years.
Yeah, that didn't last long. But okay, we got Russell Westbrook traded John Wall, and how do we feel about it? We expressed ourselves.
But I've had
strippers
time.
in Houston is lit.
Okay. You pulling the heel?
I've had time now, and I think I like the move for both teams. Mm-hmm. I think both teams come away better than they were this year. Wizards, especially because Wall didn't play, and the year before that, I just felt like that's when we were going to Wizards games. Hill, I felt like Wall was becoming disinterested ever since old boy got paid before him. Was it Reggie Jackson got paid before Wall, and he was in South?
Yeah,
he's really been wanting out of DC kind of since then. So it's like last year it was clearly Bill's team, despite the injury. You bring in Bill and Russ. Can it work? I don't know. But I like that maybe better than Wall and Bill. Now, Harden and John Wall, I feel like that can really be crazy. If you have a good coach that can make it work, I feel like that can be crazy because that's two very, very talented guards. Wall can hit the deep ball. Harden can hit the deep ball. Wall can't be stopped with the ball in his hand. You see what I'm saying? And Harden is an ISO monster. I just feel like that could be one of the toughest backcourts, but it's still to be seen what else they do with the rest of their team. And like I said, their personalities make them need a legitimate coach. Is Silas that? We don't know yet. I'm rooting for Silas because I like his pops, and I'm just keeping it in the family. But I don't know. I don't know. So, but I do think both teams get better. So I think it's a win-win, and it's some excitement for DC because we needed somebody. And Westbrook is a good name. I know AJ not high on Westbrook, but I feel like
I'm gonna go before him.
this might help revitalize Westbrook's career. And Westbrook was better with a chip on his shoulder.
Well, we had Westbrook is just a good teammate. It is what it is. Like, he got that bad narrative because that's just how the media does.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been a good teammate, and his counterpart has 8 playing beside him.
Mm-hmm.
KD won the MVP playing beside him.
Yeah.
Paul George was in third in the MVP race with him. Harden only averaged 2 points less with Westbrook. Like he's averaging double-digit assists. So he's not just the temperamental angry ball hog that everybody's really just trying to. Yes, he has 100% motor, and he doesn't know how to stop that motor. That's him. That's his thing. But his counterpart always eats. And the way that Bradley Beal ascended last season is only going to make him better because it was Bradley Beal and them. It's us and them. Now they got somebody that they can respect. You're going to still respect Westbrook. If you don't respect him, he's going to go by you. So it is what it is. They're going to they're not going to make. I mean, the roster is not that great, but they can make the playoffs. They might possibly, depending on the matchup, they may make some noise.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
You get in the dance and cut the music on, like my bro Cannon say.
Come on now.
with Houston, I like Houston on paper. I like it on paper because of the paper. But my only thing is Harden going to allow? Is he going to allow Wall to play his game?
That's why I say you need a good coach.
And that's why we're on the same page about Silas. You need to take him to the side and say, listen, we need you to
take me to the king.
We need you to expand your game. We need you to play within the system. We need you to get others more involved in this ISO game that you got going on. Everybody's standing around looking at you. That's not winning basketball for us. It hasn't worked. We need to try something different. Let Wall work with you. Wall is gonna pass you the ball, bro.
He gonna pass you that ball. And you just like to shoot. So if you're a shooter, why not just spot up, bro?
Or come down some down screens, just run the offense. You're gonna cook. We know you're a prolific scorer. We're gonna let you cook. You're gonna get the ball. If Boogie's healthy, now they actually have a formidable lineup. And people are not they're underestimating the signing of Christian Wood.
Yeah, they are.
That boy was underrated.
He can ball, man.
In Detroit.
No, I like Wood.
They have a versatile team now. If they're healthy, they're going to be formidable to do something that makes some noise. Do I have them winning? Hell no.
I'm impressed, Hill. I'm impressed, man. That was some real NBA analysis right there.
I be trying, bro. I'm gonna pass the ball to AJ. He could tell you Westbrook can't shoot.
That's all he's gonna say, bro. And I seen some articles saying that, as it made me sick to my stomach. But go ahead, AJ.
He is the most inefficient pull-up shooter in the fucking league. Like, bro, and that's my problem. Like, hey, you know what? Yes, he has a bad narrative that he is a terrible teammate. He's not a terrible teammate. He's a great teammate. He's a terrible fucking pull-up shooter. And he likes to take pull-up jumpers at the most inopportune. And so that's my only issue. And that's why I say it's going to be tough for Washington to look at this as an upgrade. Like on paper, it looks good because you have someone who's going to average triple doubles, and you put him with Bradley Beal, who is an ascending star. He can shoot and all of that. But when it's 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter and you are down 2, and Bradley Beal sitting in the corner, he watching Russell Westbrook come across the logo and take a pull-up 3 and bricks it. That's where I think things are going to be a little bit different. Yes,
But
you are going to win games. Yes, his counterpart gets off.
Mhm.
But when it comes down to it, those things that you don't necessarily see in the box score,
Mhm.
when you take your shots, how your possessions in a turnover that's dribbled off your foot while you taking it into triple coverage trying to drive it in the lane. Those don't necessarily
but
come
like
up
us,
if you're still close in the game.
he
And so that's what I'm
always
saying.
didn't play that way. He did not do things like that when he played with KD. He only got like that. I said it on one of our episodes. I don't remember, but if like, bro, if Harden's gonna take 30 dribbles a possession and I finally get the ball, I'm jacking now. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm sick of this, bro. But if I get onto a real team and we have a game plan and a real coach, I'm a coachable player. We have seen that. We've seen it right here.
He didn't have it. He's back. He reunited with Scott Brooks.
Thank
So
you.
he
So
likes Scott Brooks. So
it
that's
can
going to play a
happen.
part.
And here's the thing. We're also looking at a younger player. Westbrook is growing. You're on your third team now. At some point, you got to realize, like, do I want to keep doing what that hasn't worked for me? I might have to make some changes to my style of play, or not necessarily my style of play, just my attitude towards my style of play. And I think if whoever like Scott Brooks is going to tell him, like, listen, this is the way we're going to play ball. If he falls in line with that, I feel like it can work, man. Like, Wall didn't always listen, and people say Wall is coachable. Well, Wall got into his funk and did the same type of stuff too. He just shot a higher clip. So you were pleased, AJ.
I won't like, but he because remember, Wall wasn't always an efficient shooter.
He
got better.
wasn't. Yeah, thank
He
you.
got better.
I'm glad you remember
and,
that, bro.
and that's my thing. Westbrook is still an inefficient shooter, but still wants to shoot it, and so that's just always been my issue.
Because
I think
he
a lot.
couldn't get the rock, man. So he felt like he had. Watch when he gets the rock in a normal flow.
My thing is also, it's a point that I brought up when we had a supporter talk about Dame versus Russ. Is a lot of those triple doubles are they kind of like the Rondo triple doubles a while back that people complained about, that he would drive to the lane late in the shot clock, just kick it out, and
yeah, I remember that.
Like so that's why it's like I don't know. And I was about to bring up Sean Point. Changing his game in year 12. Like, that's a little. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? So
if you want to win, you got to. We've seen people make changes late in their career.
But we've seen people be stubborn as hell too.
We have.
But have we seen people with the type of success that Russ has had and still think he's the type of person that Russ is to change? Because usually we'll see people change when it's just like, okay, I'm not the player that I used to be. So Russ still think he triple-double MVP Russ. So are we going to see that guy change? It
remains to be seen. That's the $1 million question.
So speaking of $1 million questions,
sure, the Wizards making the playoffs. The East got better. Okay, how did?
So Eric hit us with his question. Can I answer this real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. So Eric asks, with the size of these contracts we are seeing these days, should athletes be obligated to give a portion back?
I don't think they should be.
Especially since a lot of the money comes from the people. Can I answer this?
Go ahead.
Eric, have you ever asked a team owner to give their money back?
And that's what I was going to say.
Why is it that we're putting this onus on the players when those team owners, that one person makes exponentially more than all of his players combined?
And this is my thing. As far as anybody, it's your personal choice to give back, man. Listen, if I go to a college and that's my alma mater, like, whatever I decide to give back, that's my personal choice. Don't be upset if I give less than what you expected. Don't be too not humble if I give more. You feel me? You should be grateful either way because people don't have to give. And it's like I agree with AJ 100%. We always put everything on a player. Like, how come in America we don't hold the person responsible accountable? We always hold somebody else accountable. Goes back to my thing about Joe Pa. But you were right about that, Hill. I want to commend you online because I finally realized that, right? As a teacher, I am a mandated reporter, which means that if I witness abuse of any kind, like I gotta report that. And that is the same like coaches and anybody that work with in education. So Joe Paul was under that same thing. So it finally made sense. So I thought about that recently. I said I gotta give Hill his props
So
on
good.
that.
I don't feel it's nobody's obligated to do anything with their money. It's their choice.
He earned it.
You earned it. You was in the gym. I wasn't with you shooting in the gym.
Come on,
You know,
man.
it's your money. Now, if
I
you
was
want to be
breaking them shits
charitable,
like a motherfucker.
if you want to be charitable, do what you want to do with your money. That's your choice. But if you want to be Jason Pitts and don't spend nothing,
Not a dime.
then that's on you. I can't tell nobody how to spend their money or what they should do. You know, I would want you. Sometimes I would want you to go back to give to the community or do something for the community. But that's a
But
want. But you're not
And that's why
obligated
you
to
should
do
tax
anything.
the rich at a higher rate than you tax my black ass. But we ain't
But
gonna get into
why
that.
not?
Why
Why are we not asking for people who have more money to do more? Like AJ said, like why do we always put it on the first person who makes it? The first person who made it ain't necessarily positioned good enough to give back because if he gives back, then guess what? He may go broke now. So it's like, why can't the person who's winning it all give back? Why can't Robert Kraft give back and Jerry Jones give back?
And so here's my thing.
And Snyder, why can't Snyder give back?
So they do give back specifically. They give back in a way that'll get them notoriety. Say, hey, look at me, I gave back. But the amount of money that they still have is ridiculous. Remember, Cannon, you and I got into this argument when
he said as a Christian now.
Remember when Bill Gates bought that yacht?
Yeah.
And that's when I was talking about like, yo, there should be no such thing as a billionaire in this country.
Yeah.
We kind of went back and forth on that. We disagreed because that's my thing. Like all of these people in this country that are struggling, going through things, that are missing out on rent, they're taking money from us. They're saying, hey, donate to this research, donate to this. Let's
massage
stop.
parlors.
Let's end child hunger. Let's end all of this shit. Let's get money into the school systems. The schools need more money. But yet I go to work for someone who makes $700,000 a minute, but you paying me $12.50 an hour.
That's not because that's the only way that they can make $700,000 a minute.
But guess what? But guess what? If you pay me $25 an hour,
you can still eat.
You will still would still make almost like $200, $300 something dollars a minute.
More than that, bro. 400, 500.
But you dig what I'm saying now.
I dig what you're saying.
And that's my thing. Like the fact that America has the highest amount of billionaires in this country, but yet it's still like when I drive down through the city, I still see people on the street asking for money. Still see people sleeping on the street. When you see people like Bloomberg,
and why?
Bloomberg could have gave
enough
money to end homelessness and still be a billionaire.
But you know why they don't? You know what billionaires' major mistake is? They're so far removed. Like once you get so far removed and you deal with stuff like that and you donate a large amount of money, you don't give it to the people who actually need it. You give it to some organization that claims they represent the people who actually need it. And when you get to those organizations, that's where you always get the hands in the pot doing the wrong thing. Because you talked about education, how they always want to kick back money to education. Education is so corrupt.
They don't see that, but education don't see that shit.
Yeah, exactly. It never even makes it because the people at the top in education, they put their hands and they take their money right off the top before it even gets down to my classroom. So it's like I'm investing in my classroom and the students in there, not no money from no other people and all of that. And now with the kids not even being in school and them not eating school lunch and doing all of that, like where's this money really going? That's a bigger
Fam, let
question.
me tell you this. When I was in high school, I would have teachers saying, "Hey, look, just turn your paper over because I can't give you another sheet of paper because I can't afford it."
Mm-hmm.
You have
Yeah.
teachers
Yep.
you have teachers who are making $30,000 a year
Mm-hmm.
and still have to buy pencils,
Everything,
paper,
bro. Mm-hmm.
crayons, and all of the shit that goes on in their classroom. But yet we want to talk about millionaires. Bill Gates just donated $100 million to this research. Do you know $100 million
Is a teardrop. It's a
is
teardrop.
less than a 0.% of his income?
Yep.
And that's my thing. We get so enamored because $100 million sounds large to us. If I give $100 million to the Bill Gates Foundation, that's not doing shit because guess what? Bill Gates can say, okay, I can write this off on my taxes. This is coming to my foundation, and I can decide how this
Spend
is
it.
going to be
Yeah, I can spend it how I
divvied
want
out.
to.
And what people fail to realize is billionaires give to other billionaires' foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They never give the money to
Some
actually
not
where.
not all billionaires. There's some
Oh,
billionaires that actually do give and get the money there. So let's not
oh,
bash them all.
fuck them, because
I mean,
because they because
there's some real billionaires out there.
yeah, I know they real because I know they exist, but I ain't wherever I've lived has never been like affected. The money that y'all gave has never hit my community, and I will
But
say,
you,
it's
but
a
it would
large
be,
country.
but it would
But
be
guess what?
selfish for me. Like I didn't get my student loans paid, but some of those Morehouse students and them, they got their student loans paid by a billionaire. I ain't mad at
But
that,
guess,
and I
but
ain't
guess
hating
what?
on. Listen,
Cannon,
but hold on, just let me finish. And I know that's small for him, right? I know that's small for him, and I know that, but that's big for other people, AJ. So it's like I can't say because that's not me and because he has more money left over that still was nothing because like we just preferenced this, he didn't have to do that at all. And so I would take a billionaire that's willing to do something like that over a billionaire that ain't willing to do nothing because there's billionaires
okay,
that don't give
Cannon,
anything.
okay. But here's my point to you, Cannon. How much of what's the percentage that you're taxed?
I know I'm taxed at a higher rate, but that's not
No,
his
no, 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 no,
fault.
no,
Like
no, 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 Cannon,
I'm
just
taxed at 30%. I
okay.
know that.
So, Cannon,
That's,
if you're taxed at 30%,
I
instead,
understand that. I'm
no,
not
no, no, no,
arguing
no, no,
with you
no,
on that.
no, no,
I'm
no.
not arguing
Just
with
let
you
me
about
finish.
the taxes, bro.
Let me finish. If you are taxed at 30%, but Trump pays seven
I
hundred,
agree
no,
with you.
can I finish? If
I'm just
Trump,
saying I
if Trump,
agree, bro.
if I know, but I'm telling everybody. I just want to say this for everybody else who's listening. If you are taxed at 30%, and I don't know what your income is, but just for the sake of things, we're just gonna go with something that's not above, the top percent. So just say you are taxed at 30% at $70,000. But Trump, who is a billionaire, pays $750, even if that's not all of the taxes he's paid. But if he finds a loophole where one of his multi-billion-dollar corporations, million-dollar corporations, only pays $750, then that's a problem. Because guess what? If you said you don't mind that the guys at Morehouse
But
got their let me out. You
that is a
don't mind
problem.
that
But
all,
I'm saying I
but let me
agree
finish.
that that's a problem.
Okay, if you don't hate on the guys who had a billionaire pay just Morehouse's tuition and pays off all their student debt, my bad. If you just taxed all of the billionaires at 15%, college would be free for the country.
but that's not the individual billionaire's issue. You see what I'm saying? So
Well, why
I'm
is it
looking
my
at
individual issue?
that
Why am I
because
at
what you
35%?
listen, it's not yours. That's a government issue. They've set the tax bracket. You see what I'm saying?
So that's my
So
thing.
listen.
Who has more?
So
Who
look,
has more influence on the government? The
but
billionaires or me?
I gave you your time, bro. Just let me have mine. So
You get this
you
time.
asked me if I was taxed at that percentage, right?
Yeah.
I understand the percentage that I'm taxed at, right? And the billionaires don't control the percentage that they're taxed at. And you're not going to get, and listen, you're not going to get people who are getting taxed low to say we want to be taxed higher. That's just not a reality. So listen, if you have a billionaire that is paying less in taxes, but he is finding other ways to give back, I can respect that because, like I said before, there are billionaires that don't give back at all. And all three of us agreed at the beginning of this segment that it is individuals' personal choice to give back. So if I amass
this ain't about giving back. This is mandated.
let me finish, bro.
I definitely want to blame. Go ahead.
If I amass $1 billion, I'm going to give however I see fit, and I ain't going to care that some people are upset with the fact that I got $1 billion. That ain't my issue.
But it ain't my choice. It ain't my choice
everybody.
to be taxed at how I'm taxed. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm still going to pay the taxes. If I was a billionaire, I'm going to pay it at the cheap billionaire loophole.
But that's what I'm saying. Because guess who influences the politicians? The billionaires.
Eric, this is definitely 100%.
And then
your
they're
fault.
not gonna.
I just want to blame you.
They're not gonna pay themselves to be charged more, bro. That doesn't make sense, AJ. Like, be realistic.
But we can't pay ourselves. We can't pay ourselves to be charged less.
I know that.
But that's my point. My point is, you saying that if I'm a billionaire,
I'm not saying that. I said that I agree with you about the tax loophole, bro. I just said that I can respect a billionaire who decides to give because we said it's your personal choice to donate.
But what I'm saying is those billionaires who decide to give usually are doing it for a tax write-off.
And okay, but at least somebody's benefited. Like I said, if someone wrote off wanted to get their taxes wrote off for my student loan debt, should I not take that?
If I'm donating $100 million, but it's only for the white kids who are in the most.
Bro, I brought up an incident that was for black people specifically, which is why I did that.
But how many of us actually see that shit?
I'm just talking about that one that we know for a fact that touched black lives.
That's one. So how many else are out there?
There's others, bro.
Eric, this is all your fault. This is all your fault.
How many else are out there?
There's others, bro.
Listen, we can go all day with that because we can go. We already deviated left on that one, but this is all.
That's a good question.
Definitely a great question, Eric. This is all your fault though. But we're gonna wrap it up because we definitely are almost short on time. We got a little NFL question. We only got 3 jobs technically open right now.
Yeah.
We got Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
We got Detroit now.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Houston. We assume that the Jets job will be open. We're assuming that the Jacksonville job, the Jaguars job will be open. And we're hearing that possibly the Chargers job and possibly Chicago's job may be opening. So with that list that I just gave y'all, and also for this would be a supporter question. Question for the supporters as well. Which job would you take?
So if that Chargers job comes available, I'm taking that.
Mm-hmm.
I would take that or Houston.
Because you already have your quarterback and you are still gonna have a top 10 pick. So
that's why I said or Houston.
So if I'm a coach and that Chargers job's come available, book my flight, we going to LA. Cause I don't care if we can't get no fans. Guess what? Sunshine, he gonna bring the fans because
they got some fans.
He look like what you want in a quarterback. You still got Maga Bosa over there. You got Derwin James, who knows if he ever gonna be healthy. But once again, like I said, you're gonna have a top 10 pick.
We don't know if that one is Maga Bosa. That's
no.
Maga Bosa's Nick.
No, Nick is Maga Bosa, but yeah. I mean,
we can't put that on Joey. Joey
I ain't put that on Joey. Maybe Joey's just a little bit smarter and he shut the fuck up. But
that's what I'm saying. We can't put that on Joey. I just want to correct you on that point.
Okay. So allegedly, so we don't get sued. What I will say is stay the fuck away from Houston.
Hey,
My
it's
second
Maga
pick is
Bosa.
my second pick is Jacksonville because
Hmm.
you're gonna get your quarterback. They
Are
have
you?
I mean,
I would go
if
to Houston if I was a coach.
okay, explain why you would go to Houston. I want to hear that.
Yeah, I was
Well,
waiting for AJ to finish so you can elaborate on that one.
because when you look at the other teams that you mentioned, first of
Mhm.
all, I'm not going to Detroit and I'm not going to the Jets. So if I do go to Houston, I know I can work with Deshaun. I know I can work with him. And based off of they traded their picks away, so they ain't,
I was about to say. So what else you gonna work with?
So I mean, they got talent there to win. So it's like I'm gonna go there before I go somewhere that just got picks and no talent. You see what I'm saying? So you can go to Jacksonville because they got picks. Don't mean you're gonna get a quarterback. We've seen people with picks try to get quarterbacks.
So Sean, let me hit you with this real quick.
You do got a good chance of winning the division. That's a good point.
So you're gonna take Houston, but what if Trevor Lawrence comes in and he's actually what we think Trevor Lawrence is gonna be? So you're going into that division, Trevor Lawrence. So you saying you're not gonna be going to the same division as Mahomes? Trevor Lawrence ends up being what we think Trevor Lawrence is. Guess what? That's Mahomes level.
And that's why I'm taking the Jets job out of all these jobs. To be quite honest,
I ain't taking that thing.
Oh shit! I need to hear this.
Yeah, I ain't taking that.
Okay, you want to hear it? Let's go. They got number one overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence is who you think he is, that's one of them ones. He's one of them ones.
Yeah, he's gonna need help.
So you have plenty of cap space, and you have plenty of draft capital because you just trade off what you spent off what you traded away from Jamal Adams. You have draft capital and you have cap space. It's a clean slate.
Now, if you're a veteran,
you're going to go. They are money hungry. This is the NFL. You spend some money, they're coming.
Even if you have contenders want to pay for you,
contenders don't pay.
Some contenders do pay.
Most contenders already got their team.
If you're an elite free agent, they'll pay you.
This team,
they'll pay you more. I ain't going to the Jets, man, to commit career suicide.
It's not career suicide. This team, the Jets are not.
Ask Le'Veon on how the Jets worked out for him.
That was Adam Gase suicide. I can't hold you.
Who's going to be there next year?
Adam Gase is getting up out of there.
And who's going to be there next year is what I'm saying.
I'm telling you now, they have
the people who aren't coaches. Who do we think is going to come in and the first year turn the Jets around out of all the dysfunction that they have?
They're going to be better than Adam Gase.
Probably, and now I'm not arguing that, but they're still going to be trash. So that's what I'm saying.
Upgrade.
Yeah, okay, upgrade, but you still might get fired. You see what I'm saying? Now that was my question. If you're an unproven coach, what would you do? Because you need to stay away from Detroit and the Jets. If you have not proven yourself in the league, you gotta position yourself to win.
The reason why y'all picked the jobs that y'all picked because of the quarterback. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong?
No. Listen, I would have picked the Chargers first. I just said I also would have took Houston.
What I'm saying, so you picking the Chargers, y'all picking Houston you pick Houston. You pick Houston because of Deshaun Watson. You pick Chargers because of Justin Herbert.
Yeah, right or wrong? And that's why I'm going with Herbert too.
That's fine. That's all I'm saying.
I picked the Chargers because of Justin Herbert, their pick slot, and the money that they have left. So
what money do they have left?
I will update you in just a second,
please, because I don't think they have a lot of cap space. As you trying to play, I know the Jets got a lot of cap space, and I know they have a number overall pick, and I know they have draft capital. Like you said, you was high. Your next team was the Jaguars, and I'm trying to figure out why.
That won't mine.
I'm talking to AJ. I ain't talking.
Okay, because
hold on. Pull up the cap space first. Pull up the cap space first.
But hold on. But while you're doing that, and you're picking the second fiddle of the quarterbacks.
Who's the second fiddle?
We don't know.
Justin Fields, Trey Lance.
I see what you're saying.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm getting the surefire pick. Feel what I'm saying?
So you say?
I just said the assumption.
I don't know.
It's the same thing they said about Joe Burrow. Yeah. Same thing they say about everybody. Same thing they say about Kyler Murray. Same thing they say. Okay, they say Trevor Lawrence is one of the ones. I believe he's one of the ones. I'm getting the number one quarterback. And I have draft capital.
What they don't tell you about the ones need 2s and 3s.
Okay, so
They don't
They
tell you
got
that though. I hope they do.
So currently, as it presently stands, Jacksonville will have the most cap space.
Mm-hmm.
Jets will have the second most cap space, and the Chargers are at 9th with the most cap space.
And see the Chargers. That's good. That's good. Then if they
That's
got their
good.
quarterback, they
So you got
in
your
the middle of
quarterback,
the road cap space. I can
They've
work
had
with that.
injuries. And so that's what I'm saying. So they've had injuries. So if you spend your cap space on offensive line, because the offensive line is trash.
Yo,
and
internet, bro.
Their offensive line is trash. And like I've said before, it was very similar to the Bengals offensive line, but everyone wanted to focus on the Bengals instead of the Chargers as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have pieces. Like you said, you got Bosa, you got James, you got Ingram, you got linebackers that you signed, you got offensive piece, you got Keenan Allen, you got what's the
you have a great team. You have a great team in place already if they're not injured.
So that's what I'm saying. So you're not injured. So if you can get healthy, have a top 10 pick, and you top 10 in cap space, I'm taking that.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good job, Hill.
Yes, they did.
So that's my point.
But I'm on the fence. I'm on the limb. Anthony Lynn shouldn't be fired. Period.
I don't think so.
He shouldn't.
I don't think so.
He should not be fired. But it's what happens. We talked to Hugh Jackson before.
Yeah.
But what I will say is Jacksonville currently has the number 1 cap space allotted for next year. That's why I say I'll take that.
I'm surprised by neither one of y'all either picked Chicago.
I like Chicago, but it's just I don't want to go to the NFC North, bro. I don't want to have to be the new guy when the Vikings are, even though they're having a bad season. I feel like they're going to be trending up next year, and I feel like Green Bay is Green Bay. So I would just stay away from that division. I feel like Sean said, the Chargers, I feel like they have the most out of the top. Between the Jets, and I ain't going to Detroit. That just ain't happening. But I feel like if Houston could win their division a lot easier than the Bears could. That's a tough division to win. Even with the Vikings playing like they playing here, the NFC North ain't no joke. Let's grind them out football.
Real quick, Sean, they did pay Joey Bosa already. He had a 5-year, $135 million
Hill said that you was frozen.
My fault.
But my thing about Chicago has they have defense, they have weapons.
They need a quarterback. Yeah, and that's hard to get.
If I can find a quarterback, which is one of the hardest things to do, I get that. That's not just
and that's why I kind of stayed away because I don't want Mitch Vick.
But that's my thing. If I'm taking a job and my only thing I have to worry about is just finding a quarterback, which is hard. I get that, but that's only thing.
That's better than nothing.
I'm taking that job.
Okay.
No, I get you, Hill. But what I was saying is the reason why I'm picking the Chargers is because you already got that.
That is the best pick. We agree there. That's the best pick.
Y'all picked that team. Y'all picked it, but once again, like Sean said, you can easily the division, the NFC South is like
the Titans.
They're in that division,
but they're not losing. But I thought he was saying that they're gonna lose their coach.
What he's saying is that division is not easy.
Definitely.
So you going to Houston with no draft picks,
but
it's easier.
I feel like it's easier than the NFC North to win. I just feel like it is because those teams they just start like Tennessee. Tennessee ain't been consistent. They've been consistent this year, but it's like, have we seen them back-to-back years be consistent? So it's like I ain't really that worried, and I ain't sold on the Colts. Like you put the Colts in there, I just ain't sold. The Colts can be beat.
Bro, I've literally watched Phillip Rivers trick off 13.
Yeah, man. I ain't sold on the Colts.
I'm not sold on the Colts, and once again, Titans, I'm not sold on them because Ryan Tannehill. Last year we saw Ryan Tannehill.
I like Tannehill though.
No, let me finish. You saw Ryan Tannehill take them to new heights. But remember what I told you in the offseason? He connected on all those deep balls. Those shits don't happen year over year. It's the intermediate to short routes that really give you a consistent outlook of what's going to happen. And so he was getting all those over routes to AJ Brown. A lot of those they will still hit, but they're not hitting on like he was literally he was
protecting
number
the
one.
rock.
He was number one in the league at those deep routes, and that's why they're not winning at the clip that they was winning last year.
That is very true. But at least most quarterbacks, when they hit on those, and then when they don't hit, what do? They turn the ball over at a high rate. At least he's still taking care of the rock and leaning on the run game, which I'm cool with Tannehill. I like Tannehill. And I do like Tennessee. I do think they're trending upward, just like I guess he say FVO unruly. I guess that's how you say that. All these crazy names, but I respect the Titans, but the Colts. If I'm Houston and I'm a new coach and I'm coming in and I'm trying to implement my thing, I ain't worried about the Colts. I respect them because they're in my division, but I feel like I can be successful.
And like I said, the reason why I'm not touching that Houston job is because you have nothing to work with. Yeah, you got Deshaun Watson, but you don't have no cap space and you have no picks that you can come in.
They got David Johnson. Y'all gonna sleep on David Johnson?
I will end this podcast right the fuck now. Like I will hang up.
Hey, bro.
Like episode 88 will be no longer.
I hate David Johnson more than anybody on the pod, so I don't even know why I said that.
Don't bring that shit up. And the fact that for Nuke, you got David Johnson.
I couldn't believe it.
Hopkins, and you didn't get a second or a first round pick in the deal. You got to be. It's matter of fact, I don't even gotta say nothing because it's that perfectly explains why his ass ain't got no motherfucking job.
That's why he's fired.
Because he was the coach and the GM, and as the GM, you made the dumbest trade in NFL history. I don't care.
He ain't like Nuke personally.
I don't care how many picks they sent for Herschel Walker, how many picks they sent for Ricky Williams. That was the dumbest trade in NFL motherfucking history.
Hey, look, they ate off of Herschel Walker, so they did good. Like they built
that's what I'm saying.
They built the Great Wall of Dallas with that trade.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like, yeah, like all that other shit, like it worked.
Yeah, this ain't what worked. You should have known. Like David Johnson for Nuke, that never sounded good. And I wouldn't even care if David Johnson ran for 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. I still would have said that wasn't a good decision.
Like at the end of the day, that shit was the worst trade I've ever seen in my life. Like when it came down, I was like, they did what?
Definitely in modern history. And it I guess it's equivalent to, Mike Dicker trading everything for Ricky and then Ricky getting out of there.
Yeah, because that then like I said, that like at least Ricky, he went to the Saints.
He was serviceable for a few years.
Exactly.
Yeah. He balled for a few years, so they got a little bit out of him. Like they didn't get no Nuke production out of David Johnson.
Nuke is the number one receiver in the league.
But he always was, so it wasn't like you were getting rid of a bum. Like if I was going to trade Nuke, I'm automatically going to tell your team, don't even call here unless you're offering an elite player and a number one to start negotiations.
You need a first or a second round pick for the best receiver in the league.
Bro, I need a first no matter what. Listen, you can ask Hill. When it comes to trades, I ain't budging. I'll just keep Nuke, bro. Like, what is it gonna hurt me to keep Nuke? You need playmakers. If you want Nuke, you're gonna have to pay me accordingly. I'm not just gonna give him to you for David Johnson. Like David, I would have gave you cash considerations to keep David Johnson. But I would have took 2 first-round picks. You could have kept David Johnson. I didn't need him in the trade.
Fam, y'all seen me in fantasy because at the end of the day, I'm like, well, shit. If I feel like this is just gonna be an even trade, why am I gonna make the trade? Like, if I feel like, because to me, an even trade makes teams better. Like, it makes both teams better. Like, you was lacking and I was lacking. Mm-hmm. I'm not about to trade you somebody and then I'll be lacking in somewhere else. But
big lacking.
I get production that's okay somewhere else. Like, nah, like I fucking run around with Duke Johnson at running back if I got Duke at wide receiver.
Listen, Duke can produce at the same clip.
He can give me enough. He can give me enough.
I'm sorry. I'll take Duke because he can do his job, and I'll take Nuke, the number one person at his position. Like, It makes no sense. I don't even know why we still talking about this.
What I'm never going to do again ever in life is defend David Johnson. I had already texted Candy personally. If I ever draft David Johnson ever again in fantasy, slap me. He has permission to slap me if I ever pick him up. So what you won't get is a vouch for me for David Johnson. That was one of the dumbest trades then, and it was the dumbest trades now. And the fact that some people tried to justify it and try to make it feel better. And that let me further know your football knowledge.
Because
right
they
then and there.
still
So
living off that one season. David Johnson had that one season where they just elevated him faster than anybody's ever been elevated in history. And they act like he's been playing to that level ever since.
But like I said, it's a good little welcome back. We took a break for Thanksgiving. Want to thank everybody that joined us tonight. This episode 88. You know, y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Once again, I want to thank everybody on the YouTube viewership. I want to thank everybody that tuned in live. You can catch the audio and the video playback soon as we're done. And we'll see y'all next week. We out.
Donate to HBCU while you at it.
This episode of 3Man Weave has been brought to you by Languinitas. A little something for your summer.
Get back to your community. Donate to a HBCU. Do something positive.